Oh, we are going hard tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is our second video tonight. Bear with us because this is a lot of time we are spending on this. But let's do this. Welcome to the Gamerden Sports Network AFC North video. Tonight we're going to be going over the fantasy football.
AFC North.
Let's just jump into this with the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Flacco is going through some back issues. You're probably going to be ready for the season. How are you feeling about Flacco this year?
About the same as every year. You could plug him in on a bye week, but that's about it. Deep super flex, deep quarterback, 2 quarterback leagues, you can pick him up. But other than that, I don't see much value in him as far as fantasy goes.
Yeah, Flacco's a huge rolling guy, or he was last year. It's 672 attempts, which is up there with Rodgers. Only had 20 touchdowns though, and threw 15 picks, which is not very good. Did have a 65 completion percentage, which is pretty solid. Flacco just could not hit the deep ball last year in a 30% accuracy rating. Not 30% accuracy percentage. Wasn't good. 16 for 66. Threw 5 picks on those dropbacks, which isn't good. Only threw 6 touchdowns on them. Not too great throwing the deep ball last year.
And last year was his ceiling. One other year, 2014, he got 27 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. But I mean, he hasn't. That was his first time throwing over 4,000 yards. He's thrown under 20 touchdowns, 20 or less touchdowns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times out of 8. So I just don't see him producing anything better than what he did last year.
Yeah, I agree. This coaching staff isn't really the coaching staff that wants to throw the ball a lot. I think they would rather run the ball. They have Marty Morningweg there returning from last year. He is a lot more run oriented, I think, and John Harbaugh likes to run the ball. I think that's what they want to get back to. But Flacco's a good he's a good NFL quarterback, but he's just he doesn't have any fantasy upside.
Yeah.
Volume will be there though for he has plenty of opportunities to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he got Jeremy Maclin. That's a deep threat, so that could help him. And Joe Flacco's not scared to throw it deep either. He just didn't connect with very many last year. Jeremy Maclin might help that. Wallace is a big guy too. I think Jeremy Maclin might take over the wide receiver 1 kind of role from Wallace.
Yeah, I mean they had Steve Smith there last year, and Steve Smith's gone. So, and they split the targets pretty evenly. Steve Smith had 102, Wallace had 109. So I think Macklin will just slide into Steve Smith's role pretty easily, not his role, but those targets, even his role. You look at those targets. Kamar Aiken had 46 targets though, and he's gone now. And Perryman had 64 targets, but didn't have a very good catch rate. It was only 50% catch rate. But I think Perryman could have a decent year this year. He will be a guy to target, especially where he's going right now in the 13th round. 13th round, 14th, even 14th round. I think he'll be good value. I'm not really too interested in Mike Wallace. I think last year was probably his upside. He had 72 grabs for 1,000 yards. Not really that interested in that. Let's check out his red zone Yeah, I only got 9 targets in the red zone. Um, Steve Smith and Dennis Pitta got most of the targets in the red zone. Um, Pitta's gone now, right?
Yeah, Pitta is gone.
Um,
And that kind of scares me about this passing core. Um, they don't have too many people to target. Uh, tight and Pitta kind of dominated. It was Pitta then Steve Smith Sr. in the red zone.
mhm.
Then Mike Wallace and Terrence West.
Yeah.
It, so it just scares me in the red zone. I think they're gonna run it
Who
or
do you think's gonna get the red zone targets? The tight ends? Who's Crockett Gilmore and Ben Watson? I
I
don't think they're gonna get the red zone targets.
I think I think Danny Woodhead's gonna get a lot of those red zone targets coming out of the backfield. I like Danny Woodhead in this offense, especially since Kenneth Dixon got hurt. Uh, feels bad, but it is what it is. uh, yeah, he's going a little early for me right now. He's going way before Terrence West. Uh, just looked it up. He's going eight. He's RB 18, going about 47 overall, and Terrence West is RB 39, going 95. I'm sure that's gonna balance out a little bit.
I don't think so. I think Woodhead in a PPR, Woodhead's value is just gonna keep going up.
And see, I don't know if Danny Woodhead's gonna take as many target. Well, he can. And see, I think he will have some red zone targets. And just at his current ADP, I cannot grab him. Just
Yeah,
because he's not gonna be the RB1. He's just
he,
going to be the third down threat, slot threat, and he's going to be used as a slot receiver a lot.
yeah. The reason I think Woodhead is going to be pushed up draft boards so much is the amount of targets this Baltimore running or backfield got last year. Kenneth Dixon had 40 targets. Terrence West had 40 targets. Forsett had 13 targets, and Kyle Juszczyk had 42 targets out of the
Yeah.
backfield. That's over 130 targets for just for the running backs. That's an insane amount of volume. If Woodhead just gets, even if he gets half of that, 65 targets, it's pretty solid value. But it's Danny Woodhead, so he'll probably get 80 to 90 targets, which is wide receiver numbers from your running back.
Yeah.
And they don't have, like you said, they don't have anybody to target in the red zone. So you could see Danny Woodhead getting those targets in the end zone. The only reason I'm not going to draft Woodhead is because he's going to get hurt week 3 and he's going to be out for the year.
You don't see any value in Lorenzo Talafrino? Farrow?
Taliaferro?
Yeah.
No, not really. Um,
Even with
I think it's going to be the Terrence West show. The only
yeah.
like only way Taliaferro gets in there is to spell West or if West gets hurt.
Yeah.
I think even if Woodhead gets hurt, I think West becomes a really intriguing option because they liked to use West out of the backfield once Dixon went down. Or yeah, Dixon got hurt at some point last year, right? I can't remember at this point, but they
Yeah.
like to use West out of the backfield, anyways. So
Was it he wasn't no, that was this year. He was
that was
suspended for 3
Forsett got
years.
hurt last year, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they like to use West out of the backfield. Like you said, he had 40 targets last year, which is a good amount. If Woodhead gets hurt, uh, Terrence West will be an extreme value. I already think Terrence West is a decent value to go with right now. What do you have him at? I got him in the 10th round.
Yeah. I got him a little earlier. I just looked it up not too long ago. 95 overall, so about late 8.
Yeah, the thing I have hasn't been updated since Sunday. It looks like so my ADP is a little off,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
So
Terrence West is a pretty good value.
yeah, I think for late 8th and you could get a RB1, that's solid. Even if Danny Woodhead's taken the third down away from him, you could get all the rush attempts out of Terrence West and still produce fine. And even if he gets the targets he did last year and Danny Woodhead takes over the role of Kenneth Dixon and Kenneth Dixon and Trubisky or Kyle
No,
Juszczyk.
just check. Yeah.
There you go. If Danny Woodhead takes over those two guys' role, Terrence West still has 40 attempts or targets out of the backfield. So that's still pretty solid for a running back.
Yeah.
And see, I still have Kenneth Dixon going ADP of 140. That he's just dropping down. There still might be some people picking him up in random drafts just because they don't research this kind of stuff. But yeah, he should not be drafted in any league this year.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to draft him. He's done. Like, there's no like
ACL tear or
meniscus
tear.
Yeah, he's done. Like, he's gone for the year. Like you shouldn't touch him at all. I don't understand why his ADP isn't 0 or like must just be holding on from earlier. But yeah, don't touch Dixon. That's dumb. Go with Weston Woodhead. But yeah, Woodhead's going too early for me. I'm not going to touch Woodhead. That's also too risky. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. That sounds like he's going like with Montgomery. I'd take Ty Montgomery over Danny Woodhead all day. Yeah, let's move on to the Bengals. At the Red Rifle.
You don't see any news about Colin Kaepernick signing over to the Ravens and producing anything?
Oh, no. I think the Ravens signed like some like no-name quarterback that Jim Harbaugh coach at Stanford. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was at Stanford with Jim Harbaugh, and Harbaugh signed him over Kaepernick, which is really funny because Kaepernick was Jim Harbaugh's like it's just Jim Harbaugh didn't even recommend Kaepernick to John Harbaugh. He recommended his college quarterback from Stanford, which is really funny. I just don't. I'm not even gonna
acknowledge it.
Yeah, I'm so over Kaepernick. Like, he's a terrible quarterback. One of like the worst like moments was the realization that they were just going to roll with Kaepernick and they were just going to cut ties with Alex Smith. Like, that was just if Alex Smith played that season that they went to the Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl. Like, I'm like positive that happens.
Yeah, they might have lost to Green Bay, but that's about it.
Yeah,
we were one of the few 49er fans that were not very happy about Colin taking over the starting job. That's neither here or there now, but you know,
it wasn't anything with Kaepernick. It was just Alex Smith had led that team for so long and deserved the chance.
Yeah,
you fit their strategy, and Alex Smith is still a quarterback with the Chiefs, and Colin Kaepernick is out of the league. So it's like Alex Smith is like a poor Joe Montana, just like Joe Montana worked the Niners all those years, but Alex Smith was like with the shitty Niners all those years, and then then they just shipped him off to Kansas City.
Yeah,
it's like go spend the rest of your days over there in the.
So, back to Woodhead. Right now, he's going just over Carlos Hyde, Spencer Ware, Dalvin Cook. All three of those guys are very well off to be RB1s.
The only one I would think of taking Woodhead over would be Ware. I'm I don't think Ware is going to last long. I think
No.
if Woodhead stays healthy, he will have his role the entire year, where Ware will not have his role if he struggles, because they will put Kareem Hunt in there for him. But yeah, I'm not too high on Woodhead.
Yeah, that's the same here. Well, I'm high on him, just not at what his ADP is right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like him as a wide receiver / running back at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to one of those.
Another note: the Ravens' first 4 picks in the draft were all defense, so they definitely tried to show up their
They'll
defense.
back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a note. That's why I also think they're going to try and run the ball more. I think they want to get back to where they have a really good defense and their ball control offense. But yeah, let's move on to the Bengals. Andy Dalton.
The Ginger.
Yeah, he had a pretty efficient season last year. Only dropped back 563 times, but threw 18 touchdowns and only had 8 picks. How do you feel about Dalton?
Yeah, I'm not high on him as my QB1, but you could definitely do better than him. I think his ceiling is pretty low, and what he's going at as far as in the draft, I think you could get better value than him.
Yeah, I have him going in the 10th round.
Yeah, he could produce at that top end, but at this point, like if it was between him and Carson Wentz, I'd rather have Wentz. I'd rather have Andy Dalton over Blake Bortles, though.
I think I'd rather have Bortles.
As far as fantasy producing, yeah, I'm not high on him at all. Don't really like him. Don't think he's gonna be great.
Especially where he's going in drafts, I'd rather have a lot of other quarterbacks. Yeah, totally agree.
You could have Palmer, and Carson Palmer could go off.
Yeah, he could. I mean, there's Andy Dalton really doesn't. Andy Dalton is a solid backup for your team.
Yes,
he will be there, but I wouldn't start him on any regular basis.
If he's your QB1, you're in trouble.
Yeah. He had a very good deep ball accuracy percentage, 46%. Had a lot of yards. I think a lot of that's probably to AJ Green. But if you got AJ Green, you might as well use him. Yeah, it's pretty solid numbers on his deep balls. Pretty efficient. He's not bad. He's good enough to make AJ Green like a first round pick, like easily. Like AJ Green has a good enough quarterback to play with. Speaking of AJ Green, how are you feeling about AJ Green this year?
I like him. I like him every year. I got him as a wide receiver 5, going 9th overall. That's about where he should be. He's one of those elite 4 or 5 wide receivers that you're gonna grab, and he's gonna go in every. He should go in the first round in every league.
Yeah, definitely.
Even last year he got hurt. He had a good year until he got hurt. He produced big numbers, and he could win you 1 week by himself. He could score you those 40 points, really. Yeah, you can't go wrong with AJ Green, and I could see him performing a couple of the upper end guys too.
Yeah, like he missed his last 7 games last year, right? He had 95 targets
Yeah.
and didn't play the last 7 games. That's insane. Like he missed almost half the season. Like he would have had Mike Evans like targets. Not Mike Evans had a crazy amount of targets too. Mike Evans had 168 targets. AJ Green probably would have gotten 180 targets if he would have stayed healthy. Um, Only problem is his catch rate's not very good. But I mean, when you get that many targets, shit, like your catch rate can be half and still fine.
Yeah.
The only problem is AJ Green only scored 4 touchdowns. So like if he would have projected it out, he probably would have only had 7 touchdowns on the year, which kind of looking for more out of your number one receiver if you draft him in the first round. But the volume should be there. Um, he should have a good season. Um, One of the issues though, I would like to. I can't. I need to look into this more. But Brandon LaFell dominated the red zone targets, and I'm wondering if that's because AJ Green was out the last half of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, Brandon LaFell had double the amount of targets as AJ Green in the red zone. We'll see. I'll have to look into that and see if it's attributed to AJ Green being out. But Tyler Eifert and Tyler Boyd had 9 targets also in the red zone. So Brandon LaFell looks like the red zone, like Andy Dalton's go-to guy in the red zone, but we'll see. I can't imagine him out. I think AJ Green probably has twice as many targets. Just assume he has twice as many targets. It probably takes away from LaFell a little bit in the red zone.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinking AJ Green's gonna be that 20 red zone target kind of guy, and LaFell's gonna be around 15 still. I think they will be. I think Eifert's gonna still be up there. You got any interest in John Ross?
John Ross is probably one of those most intriguing fantasy options in this draft from the wide receiver position. If you're in a dynasty league, I would consider almost taking Ross over McCaffrey, maybe. I just don't like McCaffrey in the situation he's in. If McCaffrey would have landed in like other spots, I think McCaffrey would have been solid. But John Ross is insanely 4.22 yard time is insane. That's so fast. So he's interesting. He just doesn't have the size, but if you have LaFell and AJ Green on the outside and you put John Ross in the middle in the slot, oh man, he's gonna be able to beat some safeties through the middle of the field and get deep. Which is really nice because Andy Dalton, like I said before, Andy Dalton's accuracy percentage on deep balls is pretty good last year. So Ross is definitely someone to keep on your radar. The only problem I have with Ross is where he's going in drafts. He's going pretty early for the amount of targets I think he's going to get. Like I think LaFell and Boyd are going like they're going undrafted, and I think they're not going anywhere. They're still going to get the targets,
Yeah.
So I think they're going to eat into Ross's targets this year. But Ross is definitely, if you're in a dynasty league, you should definitely try and get him.
Yeah, I like him as that quick, shifty guy. Fastest guy since Chris Johnson.
Yeah, I think he even beat Chris Johnson ran a 4.24, and he's shattered. Well, not shattered, but
yeah,
that's still insanely fast.
That's shattering it still.
4.22.
Yeah, I like him. Big move, first round.
Yeah, this Bengals draft is pretty exciting fantasy wise. Not only did they get Ross, they added Joe Mixon. How are you feeling about Mixon?
Yeah, we just talked about him a little bit in the last one. At his ADP, he's got a long road ahead of him, or a hard road ahead of him. I don't know how long it'll be, but he's definitely got a hard road ahead of him to outperform Jeremy Hill and Gio Bernard. Right now, I'm kind of high on Jeremy Hill. I think they're gonna let him keep running it and just plug in Joe Mixon every once in a while. and I want to say Gio Bernard is still going to be that third down back, but you got to think they're getting all the hype around Joe Mixon. I hate buying into it, but he's got to be taking over. But
I just don't see an opening for him this year.
yeah, I'm high on Jeremy Hill. He's going 11th round. I like him. I'm definitely willing to take a shot on him in the 11th and see what plays out.
Yeah.
But
Jeremy,
I'm not touching Mixon.
yeah,
At his ADP.
at his ADP, I wouldn't touch Mixon either. The thing with Mixon is he has no openings. Jeremy Hill has scored. 3 years ago, he scored 9 touchdowns. 2 years ago, he scored 11 touchdowns. And last year, he scored 9 touchdowns. 29 touchdowns in 3 years, which is insane. Like that's pretty solid. Like down in the red zone, you just give the ball to Jeremy Hill and let him go, right? So that takes away the rushing touchdowns from Mixon. Giovanni Bernard came to camp healthy. Like he's completely recovered from, well, not completely recovered, but he was a full participant in practices after his knee injury, which definitely takes away from Mixon because now they're going to use Bernard. If Bernard's healthy, they're going to keep using him like as their third down back and passing down back.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't see an opening for Mixon unless one of them does really bad. And another issue with them is that they lost this offensive line is going to be really bad. They lost oh man, Andrew Whitworth and Zeitler. I can't remember his name, but they both went to the Pro Bowl, and they're both gone now. So that line's going to be not too great. So that's another problem that I think a lot of people are overlooking with Mixon.
Mm-hmm.
But if he falls, I think you said this last video, but Mixon, Cook straight up. If if you had a choice between them, who would you take?
Yeah, I'd take Cook.
Yeah.
Cook just has such an easier road. Like you were saying, I believe last video too, Minnesota doesn't owe Murray anything, Latavius Murray anything. I think Cook's gonna take over the starting job real quick. McKinnon's gonna be the third down kind of back, I believe. Kind of take over the role he was last year and be that quick shifty guy. And then Cook is going to be the ground and pound kind of guy, get those short yards, end zone, red zone looks, and everything. Like I said, Mixon, I don't really see an opening, and there is a lot of hype about him right now.
Yeah, there's too much hype. I agree. It's if his ADP stays where it's at, I will not have any shares of Mixon this year. I think Tyler Eifert, he's going late 5th, early 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I got here.
Yeah, I got him going. Tight end 6, going in the 7th, early 7th.
Mm-hmm. So you have him a little bit later than I do on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I won't have it. Eifert, he's gonna get hurt. It's inevitable.
Yeah, and it's too early for me. Jimmy Graham, he's going 8 picks before him. I'd rather have Jimmy Graham, but at that point, I'd rather have a Greg Olsen than 16 picks earlier. Pretty much one whole round earlier than Eifert.
Yeah, I just don't think Eifert's gonna stay healthy. Like it'd be a miracle if he stayed healthy. I'd rather like every other tight end that goes before the 8th round. I'm not gonna have them.
Yeah,
I'm just not.
I'd rather just wait on the tight end. Most of them don't outrageously perform away from maybe the top 2, like Travis Kelce and Gronk.
Yeah, if Gronk stays healthy, he's an animal. Kelsey's a PPR machine.
So, like, outside of those two, and Jordan Reed and Greg Olsen could have explosive years also. Uh, but I believe Jordan Reed is having some health issues
Hmm.
already this year.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't touch him at his ADP anyways right now, but I definitely wouldn't touch him or anywhere after it. Uh, yeah, I'd rather wait on like a Hunter Henry kind of guy or Jack Doyle from Indianapolis or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, there's no changes in the coaching staff for the Bengals either. So it should be the same offense they ran last year, which their offensive coordinator was his first year last year. So they should have a better grasp of the offense this year. So they might be able to open it up. Um, the offensive coordinator is pretty pass heavy, so it should be nice for the passing game. Um, yeah, let's move on to as much as I don't want to say it, the Browns. Kessler, Osweiler, the rookie Kaiser.
Yeah, definitely
Uh,
not looking forward to any of them. There's no fantasy production that you could be hoping for out of any of them. Even in
uh,
even in two quarterback leagues, you could probably pick somebody off the bench that's gonna outproduce them.
yeah, I think I'd rather have Kaepernick than any of these Browns quarterbacks. Just put it in there and have a zero instead of getting negative points, you know.
Yeah.
But uh, Kessler wasn't crazy bad. Like he was okay. He had a decent completion. It was 65.5% completion percentage. His QB rating was 92, which isn't bad. Like he played fine. So like deep league, two quarterback league, you put Kessler as your third quarterback. Yeah, I'd be fine. I think he's probably gonna start this year. He had 6 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Not bad. Um, so yeah, I think he can sling the ball to his receivers.
Yeah.
I think he'll be good enough.
And that's all these bad teams are always talking, oh, we want to get more into the run. But when they fall behind, they can't just run the ball. It takes too
Yeah,
much time off the clock and they have to let someone pass. So even teams that are talking up the hype about running the ball are gonna have to pass. Uh, and I'm not in love with the receiving core, but I don't hate the receiving core for the Browns. Kenny Britt they picked up from Los Angeles. The
Corey
Rams.
Coleman.
Corey Coleman.
Yeah,
He looked like a stud. Is Josh Gordon coming back this year too? If he doesn't get in trouble.
um, I don't think he's
Oh.
I don't think he's been reinstated. Yeah, I think he's suspended indefinitely. Like he could be reinstated at any time. Like his suspension's over, like technically
Yeah.
over, but I think he's gone from the league.
Yeah,
Like they could bring him back at any time.
he reapplied in fall. Speaking last year, yeah.
Yeah, I doubt Gordon comes back anytime soon. He'd
And
be interesting.
he is getting picked up and
Yeah, I see
162
that
overall,
super
but
late.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
So
I wouldn't touch him.
no. I guess you could if you wanted to. No, I still wouldn't. Even in dynasty leagues, I wouldn't touch him. I would go after a rookie or something that you think has some kind of potential. Uh, yeah, I'd rather go after. Hmm, Going that late, I'd rather go after some lower end guy. Like I would even rather touch like OJ Howard maybe 140th. It's a little earlier. Or Cleveland's tight end really at that point.
Yeah.
N-
I don't really like
Njoku.
targeting rookie tight ends. I think tight ends have the biggest adjustment from college to the NFL.
Yeah.
Not only do they have to learn all the blocking schemes, but they have to learn all the passing concepts as well, which is really hard for rookie tight ends to grasp. But Njoku should have all the opportunities to succeed as a rookie tight end. But I am probably not going to be targeting him just because there's so many other tight ends that I'd rather have at that point that he's going.
Mhm.
But like all the red zone targets are gone from last year. Just all the targets in general. Pryor's gone. Hawkins is gone. Corey Coleman's coming back and had a really bad catch rate. Kenny Britt should get a lot of work.
Yeah. I actually kind of
Uh,
like Kenny Britt in this kind of offense at his ADP. He could outproduce his draft pick pretty much. You could get a lot of production out of him out of 1 week.
Yeah, I think Kenny Britt will I think he'll have 100 catches this year.
Yeah. I think at that draft pick, I'm gonna have a lot of Kenny Britt this year. If he starts rising up from there, I might not start grabbing him, but I'll grab him in the 10th. He could easily be the wide receiver 1 there. 10th round, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, even if he sucks ass, he doesn't use your 10th round pick. You're not really counting on him.
Yeah.
Just want that upside, and I think he has plenty of not crazy amount of upside, but you should be the number one. Corey Coleman has more upside, but I think Kenny Britt has a more solidified floor.
Yeah, more targets to get.
One thing I'm just afraid of is this quarterback situation. Like, I think Kessler could sling the ball around, but Osweiler proved that he couldn't even get DeAndre Hopkins the ball. So how the fuck is he going to get Kenny Britt the ball? You know?
Yeah.
So if Osweiler's quarterback, that kind of worries me. In the rookie, it's a rookie. So I think as much as weird as it is, I'd rather have Kessler be the quarterback for this offense to succeed. But like, they do have,
fantasy-wise.
Yeah, especially fantasy wise. They have one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. Like I was saying, how the Bengals lost Zeitler, the Browns signed him.
Yeah.
So that should improve it right away. With that offensive line, Coel is looking like a
he's always
running back.
Yeah, he's always been a workhorse, or he has been a workhorse, even with them always being behind. He gets those 25 touches, 30 touches a game every once in a while. So he still gets his touches in, even with the Browns being behind and as bad as they have been the last few years. 1-15, they're always behind. I think round 3, you're definitely taking him.
Yeah, I like him in third round, especially if I haven't drafted a running back at that point. I'm totally fine with him being my RB1.
Yeah.
Especially in a PPR. Hugh Jackson loves throwing to his running backs out of the backfield. They usually try to focus on Duke Johnson and passing downs, but even then, Crowell can do it. He got 47 targets last year, which is pretty solid. Caught 40 of those 47 targets, which is a pretty good catch rate. So I'm warming up to him as the draft season goes on.
The only thing you have to warm up to is not him himself, but the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Browns, and it's just like, do I really want the Browns running back as my running back one? Is the hurdle you got to get over? But at this rate, like the Browns line is good enough to where I'll take the risk, and hopefully the passing game can do anything just to give them some space
Mm-hmm.
to work with. But I think just even if there's 8 guys in the box, I think the
The
Browns'
line's
offensive
still
line
gonna push.
could win battles. Yeah. Um, Duke Johnson's gonna got 68 targets out of the backfield last year. Caught 53 of them. How do you feel about him in a PPR?
Uh, like you said, I think you could get a better running back for PPR purposes than the Browns
Yeah,
running
I
back.
agree.
Uh, and I think Isaiah Crowell is going to get the workload. I just can't see relying on Duke Johnson to get a week-to-week production. Um, like the Browns said, they want to run the ball more, but they can't run the ball if they're behind. So they're going to be behind in quite a few games.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to say to hell with the score of the game, and they're just going to run their offense just because they want to practice, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would say fuck it and just try and just
Mhm.
practice running your offense. But we'll see. We'll see how they do. I mean, because I
I
think the way
love.
for them
Go
go
ahead.
for it. I think the way for them to keep the games close is just going to be to run the ball. They want to make the game short as possible.
Yeah.
And if you get behind by 2 touchdowns early, they should just keep running their offense. Like they shouldn't
Mhm.
try and air it out. They'll just fall behind faster.
Yeah. Uh,
What are you gonna say?
I love what the Browns did in the draft. They had 2 first-round draft picks. Signed
At
Miles
3,
Garrett. Really?
yeah.
Who'd you
Garrett in the
give up?
first. Got Garrett in
Garrett and
first.
Peppers.
Peppers, and then they drafted the tight end in Joku.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I love what they did. They didn't chase after uh quarterback this year. They didn't fall into that trap again. They ended up getting Kaiser in the second.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. So I think their defense is going to improve. Garrett Miles coming off the corner. Peppers being there. I like both of them. I definitely think it's an improvement. But they're still in rebuild mode. They have been for a long time. But I think they finally are gonna improve.
Yeah, I just don't think they have the weapons in the passing game to do anything.
Yeah.
Um, let's move on to the Steelers. Do you think Big Ben will stay healthy this year?
Yeah, I could see him staying healthy. Right now he's going. What round do you have him going at?
I have him
Uh,
going. Why can't I find him? Oh, there he is. I have him going late 7th, early 8th, QB
yeah,
11.
yeah, and I would love to get him in that 8th round and have him produce like he did a couple years ago, 2014. Uh, he had 32 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and almost 5,000 yards. I could definitely see it out of this offense. Le'Veon Bell being there, gonna take a lot of attention, and then Antonio Brown being Antonio Brown. 100, 2 years of over 100 receptions, and then they got Martavis Bryant back. I believe Sammy Coates injured right now, deep threat. I mean, he's not much fantasy wise, but definitely adds to the offense a little bit. Uh,
Mhm.
this could be big three: Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, and Le'Veon Bell. They could all produce big time
Oh
fantasy
yeah.
points.
Hmm. you're gonna have multiple people from the same offense, this is definitely the offense to do it with.
Hmm.
Even Eli Rogers had a really good season last year.
Yeah.
He had 65 targets for 48 catches. He was a good little receiver last year. With Bryant back though, he's probably going to lose targets. Uh, I think Coates will probably lose his targets.
Yeah.
I think Martavis Bryant is more of a deep threat in that offense.
Oh, and uh, Roethlisberger, Big Ben, he loved targeting Bryant deep,
Hmm.
uh, and even in the end zone. When Bryant was able to play, as long as he stays out of trouble and keeps his head underground, I think he'll be a great fantasy player.
Yeah, even without Bryant last year, Roethlisberger still threw it deep 86 times.
Yeah.
Was super efficient at 13 touchdowns, only 3 picks. Um, it's pretty good numbers. I can only imagine those going up with Bryant back. Um, Antonio Brown had 151 targets and 106 catches. Do you think Bryant will eat into that workload, or do you think he's going to take way more from Rodgers and Coates?
Yeah, I don't think he'll eat away at anything Antonio Brown puts on the table. Last year was a little down year on Antonio Brown, I guess. He only had 400 plus receiving games, if I'm not mistaken. Where 2015 he had 9 over 100, and
Hmm.
then like six games over 150. Uh, but he had 12 touchdowns. 2015 he had 30 more receptions and 5,000 or 500 more yards, but then 2 less touchdowns. I don't see Antonio Brown slowing down. He's one of those top 3 wide receivers that you want on your team, no matter where you're at in the draft, unless you're. Right now, I'm gonna take Antonio Brown over Ezekiel, over
Yeah,
Elliott.
and
If
this
I'm
is just
if I'm that top, if I'm that third person, and they go David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, I'm taking Antonio Brown.
yeah, I can see that, and this is just interesting. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting uh topic. I don't know. Whatever. Antonio Brown is really bad. Not really bad, but he has his worst games against the Bengals. It's been a thing for the last few years. Last year, he had 4 catches for 39 yards and no touchdowns against the Bengals. In his first game, and in the second game, he had 3 catches for 58 yards. So, I mean, for Antonio Brown, it's really bad. So just keep that in mind. That'll be more for daily, like on FanDuel and DraftKings, than it will be season long. I mean, you're probably still going to play him season long because, I mean, you don't
You
want to
can't
miss that
stand.
out. Yeah, I mean, who you gonna replace him with? But in daily, just keep that in mind. He does not play well against the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a defensive scheme or what. We'll have to look into it more during the season. But for whatever reason, he doesn't play well against the Bengals. Um, so yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
Would you be willing to take uh, Odell over him or
No,
Jones?
no one. It's
He,
Brown.
he's your
It's
number one guaranteed
yeah,
wide
it's
receiver.
Brown. Yeah, it's
Clear
I
cut.
yeah, I have the least amount of concerns with Brown by far. The only one I would even remotely consider taking over him is Mike Evans, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think Mike Evans, just the volume for him is insane. Like the only person who is going to rival him in targets is Antonio Brown. So,
Yeah.
but I think Antonio Brown's consistent. Besides those Bengals games that I mentioned, he didn't have any other games besides one where he had less than 15 fantasy points.
Yeah. And even when he doesn't get you a touchdown, PPR wise, he's gonna get you 10 receptions. So he might have 10 receptions for 80 yards. That's still 18 points. You can't really go wrong with him.
Yeah, definitely. Like you were saying, I'd pick him over Elliott at this point, assuming Elliott's looking at a suspension. But
even if it was only for 1 week, I would still take Antonio Brown just for the. Antonio Brown should produce the same, if not better, week to week than Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah. And for me, I like building my teams with wide receivers at the beginning. So Brown just fits into that. I can go Brown, and then I can draft another running back one in the late second, early third, along with another top end receiver, and that's just the way I like to build my teams. I don't really like running backs in round one. They scare me because they just get hurt or have down years. But yeah, the Steelers offense is definitely one to target. You want Steelers on your team. Le'Veon Bell had 89 targets out of the backfield, which is solid. Caught 75 of them. That's insane.
Not going to slow down either.
Yeah, I have here on some sites where he's going ahead of David Johnson, and I'm not quite sure why he'd be going ahead of David Johnson.
David Johnson's the clear-cut number one.
In a PPR for me, that's no question. It should be David Johnson. David Johnson caught over 100 balls last year, which just by that, it's 30 points more. It's 5 more touchdowns than the regular.
Yeah, and I think David Johnson's going to stay healthy. I don't think you can really hurt him. Le'Veon Bell's had some bad injuries. But I think Le'Veon Bell's going to stay healthy this year, too. He might miss a game somewhere in this season, but I don't see him getting hurt, a serious injury. I don't see you in drafting Le'Veon Bell. You cannot even worry about that. You're going to take him. If you're the second pick and the first pick takes David Johnson, if they don't take David Johnson, you take him, but you're going to take Le'Veon Bell all day, every day.
Yeah. This is for anybody who's looking to handcuff Le'Veon Bell. I'm looking towards the rookie Connor as the handcuff.
James Conner.
Yeah, James Conner. I think he'll be the handcuff going into the season. He's definitely the one to own.
Not getting drafted right now, or is he?
Super late. I have him going 190 overall, so 18th round, 17th round.
Yeah.
Late in drafts.
But
you probably don't even have to really worry about him. There's also the rookie receiver from USC, Juju Smith Schuster. He could be an interesting long-term dynasty pick, but I think by the time he starts to replace Antonio Brown or Martavis Bryant, Big Ben will be gone. So I think that'll cut down this offense severely once Big Ben. How do you feel like if Big Ben gets hurt? How do you feel about Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell?
I like Bell, whether Big Ben's in there or not. And I think this offense is explosive enough without Big Ben that they're still going to produce. It's not going to be near what it could be with Big Ben.
Yeah, that game that Big Ben missed last year, Andre Jones still threw for 281 yards, I think.
Yeah.
Which is a good amount. Against the Patriots, too. So, yeah, I think the offense could still move without Big Ben. It's definitely more of a hit to Brown than it will be to Bell.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Um,
And yeah, that's Big Ben doesn't stay out off the field very long, even if he's injured. That's even last year when he got injured. He said if it was a playoff game, he would have been back, and he had a torn ligament or in his knee or something. I
yeah,
forget what his injury was last year, but that is kind of the guy he's gonna be. Is he'll play through an injury if he has to, and he'll stand there in the pocket and just take a beating.
yeah. Another person I'm looking to target at tight end late in drafts is Jesse James.
Yeah, he's going
Um,
undrafted right now, as far as I could see.
I got him in the
Super
17th
late.
round, which is
Yeah,
really late. Basically undrafted. He had a lot of targets in the red zone. He was only behind Brown. Um, and I don't see Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant could eat into that a bit, but I think in the red zone, Roethlisberger's more likely to target Brown and James. Um,
hmm I like him, especially if you want two tight ends, or even if he was your tight end one. I wouldn't even have a problem with that. He's on Pittsburgh. He could get you a big game, so I don't have a
yeah,
big problem
I mean he
with.
split targets with Ladarius Green last year. If he would have gotten all the targets, he would have had about 90 targets,
Yeah,
and so that's a good amount of targets. Um, he's a really good. I don't like. That's great value. Um, I think he should be going higher than that, but in this high volume offense and this high efficiency, he's really good to um,
well, yeah,
draft late.
he should be going over the rookie from Cleveland.
Yeah, but he's going 2 rounds after, four
Yeah,
rounds after him.
yeah. So
Um,
that's just a little comparison that, I mean, Pittsburgh's proved that they can pass the ball. In Cleveland, you're just banking on a rookie being outstanding, and that's a tight end. No really tight end comes in and just is a different maker for a team. So I think Jesse James is a lot safer than picking up a rookie.
yeah, definitely. He's definitely one of the tight like if you're like waiting on tight end and you just keep getting swooped, Jesse James should be there late in the draft for you, and he should be a fine tight end to start the year off with if you can't until you fucking find something better or just run with it and see how he does.
Hmm
The Steelers' offensive coaching wise is same offense. Can you hear those
Yeah,
coyotes outside my house? Holy shit!
yeah, that's nice and loud. Uh,
uh, but yeah,
living out in the sticks. That's what we
uh,
get here.
yep. Welcome to King City, California. Yeah, this offense is the same. It should flow up like the same. Todd Haley's still there. Uh, should be the exact same offense. Should be good stuff here in Pittsburgh. Um, yeah. So let's wrap this up. You got anything else on the Steelers?
No, I see Hines Ward is like accepting kind of a coaching role a little bit there at in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like workouts and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
training
that's
camp. And
should be good.
all right, we're wrapping it up.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody. We should be coming out the NFC East and AFC East hopefully Sunday. We'll get those knocked out of the way, and then after that, we'll start doing videos that are more draft based, directed at our upcoming drafts. We'll also do videos on our drafts. I'm gonna live Google Hangout each of our drafts, just so that way you guys have an idea, and we'll probably be drafting ahead of you guys, so that way it'll give you guys an idea of what to do in your drafts. Thanks for watching, and watch us or watch our future videos, please. Yeah, thank you.